Hello, everyone. This is Jimmy, and welcome to episode 14 of Rustic Waters. It's been about a couple days, I think, since I recorded the previous episode, and now we have, what is that, just about $600,000? A lot of money. Except we're going to spend it pretty quickly. So, what do I want to spend it on? Well, first of all, I want to grab one specific quality of life item from the cyclic vendor. Also, I've noticed my frame rate's dropped a lot between episodes. I don't know if I'm gonna have to check that out. Maybe like I have an item leak up there on the farm or something, right? Because it's like, well, my frame rate here is actually not bad. I'll deal with it later. Anyways, where is the cyclic vendor? Here you are. I want the most expensive item he sells. The Ender Book. So it costs, what is that, 10,000? But I think this basically works like the Advanced Charm of Dislocation from Draconic Evolution. So we can bind different locations. Let's bind this as, I don't want to call it ocean, I want to call it home. So I think you right click to open this interface, and then you click to teleport. I don't know, does it cost anything? Doesn't seem to cost EXP there. Let me go a little further. Like I'll go bind, I don't know, let's say the top and bottom of this duct. This way, if we want to travel, to the farm and back to the base, we don't have to sit in this viaduct for 15-ish seconds. It's like not awful, right? But why sit here for 15 seconds if we don't have to? I guess while I head up here, I'll also see, do I just have item entities sitting around everywhere causing lag? No, it doesn't look like it. There's a reasonably low number of entities. It's not that laggy up here either. No, it is a little bit. I don't know. It's over 60, whatever. Anyways, we'll call this farm. And you get the gist. Now I should be, okay. So depending on how far it is, it costs EXP. So is that one level or one experience point? Looks like that's one experience point. Cool, that's not bad. Then let's go bind this. And then I'm going to test to see if it works interdimensionally too. Whoops, I never put drawer upgrades in here either, and it's full. So let's fix that as well. In theory, then, I don't need my Hearthstone anymore because this replaces it. And I guess I can blow a bit more money on drawer upgrades. Alright, so I put an emerald upgrade in each, and now they should, for all practical intents and purposes, never fill up. As for what we've gotten here, I don't know, like, meh. Bunch of diamond and emerald ore. At some point, I should automatically process this, like all that shiny ore, or I guess it's called platinum now. But, cool. So anyways, let's head back to our base. Now, I do notice it says, let's see. Oh no, distance is only 9 now. So a distance of 10 or more, I think, is where it starts costing EXP. We're now at 17. I don't know how it calculates it. But if you look at how little EXP it costs, it's basically free. But let's go to the nether and try to bind that and see if we can teleport interdimensionally. Well, looks like we cannot. We can, you can only teleport from points in one dimension to other points in that dimension. So like if I bind, the nether portal here, and I go to somewhere in the nether, come here, do my thing, whatever, decide it's time to leave, I can still teleport to here, but I won't be able to teleport directly back to base, which I guess is an acceptable compromise. Unfortunately, what that means is I still do need my Hearthstone, like when I go to places like Ratlantis or wherever, I won't be able to use the Ender Book to come back unless I know where the portal is. Let's check on the status of our farm now. I think that since I turned off the candles, they've stopped duplicating. Ow. Hey, bad shark, what? Get out of here. Don't eat me. Dropped a lot of stuff. Anyways, since I turned off the candles, they've stopped duplicating. So we won't ever get more candles. But I'm way too lazy to open treasure chests now. And money chests are obviously basically worthless, so whatever. Alright, so anyways, as for what I want to do today, now that we have this future tech work station thingy, I want to get into environmental tech. So namely, I want to start by improving our power generation. Normally in environmental tech, you actually have to start with the void resource miner or void ore miner. Let's see. I'll definitely want one of these. Is it difficult to make? No, not in the slightest. Awesome. But normally you have to start by making the void ore miner, I believe, because the void ore miner is the only way to get these crystals, and you need them to like actually do things in environmental tech. However, for us, we can buy those crystals from Jesus. Mouse, calm down. Like when I lag, my mouse sensitivity also goes all wacky, so it ends up be throwing my mouse everywhere. Anyways, we can buy them, and they're like not expensive, but they're not cheap either. The higher tier ones are a bit more expensive, I guess. But in any event, because I don't think we actually need the void ore miner for anything, at least not yet, I'll just not make it. So anyways, the solar controller, we can directly buy the controller, which is great. The only reason I don't want to directly buy the tier 6 controller is because for each controller you need matching structure frame. And while I do believe we can buy everything to make tier 6 structure frames, like, you know what, let me look up how many I need for a tier 6 solar panel. Alright, so a tier 6 solar panel takes 56 structure frames. And 169 solar cells. So anyways, for 56 structure frames, or basically a stack, we need 2 stacks of nether stars, 2 stacks of these crystals, like another stack of nether stars. And while we can buy them, our money is not quite that infinite, right? At $1,000 each, how much is 2 stacks? Let's see, 128,000. Yeah, and we only have like 600,000. So until we actually get like a proper nether star farm, which I do believe is possible. Yeah, we can at some point anyways come up with an interesting way to make a nether star farm. But for now, I'm just going to stick with avoiding that and make the tier 4 solar panel. The other thing is that the tier 4 solar panel, when we give it the right solar cells, so I think we can also buy the solar cells from this guy. Yeah, up to, I think, Ethereum is the highest. The tier 4 solar panel with Ethereum solar cells produces 212,000 RF a tick, which in all likelihood is it's simply enough. Whereas the tier 6 one produces 1.7 million RF a tick, which again is quite likely overkill. And it does take, the tier 4 already takes 81 solar cells, so we're spending a lot of money just buying solars. You know what? I might even, nah. I don't know. I'll buy probably just the highest tier ones. Downgrading a tier doesn't save us much money, but it costs us a lot of energy. On second thought, let's actually just go with the tier 3 solar panel. So where's my vendor again? I had to go and grab my money. But the tier 3 solar panel produces 64,000 RF a tick, which will still be enough for now, and almost all the components can be recycled when it's time to upgrade. Alright, so I'm going to do some shopping here. Alright, I bought just about everything that I think I can buy directly from him for the solar panel, but I think if I make the assembler, it'll tell me exactly what it takes. So let's craft the assembler. I have a little bit of EXP left here. Alright, so if I take this and... how does it work? Do I have to... Alright. I think I place the solar array controller and I right click it. Oops, I don't want you to start assembling it. No, I want you to unassemble it. No. Did it place blocks anywhere else? 49, no. Alright, I know there's a way to like get it to list everything I need. Maybe I need to make the guide. This guide serves as like the in-game documentation for environmental tech. It's different from when I last used it. But anyways, the solar array here, obviously they generate power from the sun. They're great in sun, but affected by weather and yada yada yada. Anyways, it tells us like there's certain modifiers we can use on it. So no modifiers just take up space, so you may as well use the other one. I think that makes it generate energy from rain or something. It doesn't generate a lot, but whatever. I mean, it's this or nothing, right? So I pick that. Anyways, tier 3 solar, which is what we're at, takes 8 modifiers. Obviously the controller, 49 cells, and 32 structure frames. So those I have to craft, and it says peak power when you use lithiorite solar cells is 12,000 and some amount. Does it say? Nowhere here does it seem to say the amount if you use the good solar cells, unfortunately. Let's see, is there another page about it? Doesn't look like it. All right, whatever. So let's see about crafting these structure frames. Whoopsie, these are tier 2 frames. I need tier 3s. All right, unpin that. So you have to start from tier 1 and work your way up. So it's going to take, like, these crystals I buy, but everything else I make, including electrical steel. How do I make the steel and silicon? How do I make silicon? Is there an easier way than smelting quartz dust? Can I, like, sag mill sand or something? I can. Actually, I don't have a sag mill yet, do I? Let's make a sag mill first. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. And in this case, it's buy 8 infinity plates at the cost of 4,000 each. Yikes. I'm pretty sure the cost ends up being the same whether you buy like the plates or you buy the shards and craft them up to plates. So it's the simplest to directly buy the plates, I guess. All right. So then sag mill. Oh, I was wrong. It takes 10 plates. I need a couple of these. Let's try that again. Sag mill. Nice. It looks like we still have enough EXP to craft it. All right. So we're gonna use this to make that silicon a little bit easier. Well, at least the sag mill is fast. It basically one per tick turns sand into silicon. So anyways, I process that with steel in a induction smelter. It is really cramped in here, and I also bought some upgrades somewhere to make this a little bit faster. All right, cool. So with that, we should be able to make these tier 1 structure frames. This UI really needs like a buy multiples type thing, because I need to buy 32 of these. And like buying 1 per second isn't awful, but do I really have to, or should I really have to spend 30 seconds clicking the checkbox? Who knows? All right, so it looks like we don't have enough experience now to craft these. Good thing we set up our experience machine earlier, eh? So right now, since the output tank is full and this buffer is full, this magma crucible is back, has gotten stuffed and is not slowing down our production of crates at all. However, now that I take half the fluid from it, this will start processing again, and every now and then it'll siphon a few blackberries off and turn some of them into EXP instead of money. And that's all right because we need both EXP and money. So I can't even store all that much in there at once. I'll put the excess back, I think, if it'll let me. Yeah, no sense keeping it on our person. And 10,000 fluid EXP, honestly, or 64,000 even, should last us a nice long time. All right, so 32 of these. Well, I used 8,000. Who knows? Anyways, those are tier 1s, and then we just have to keep going with tier 2 and 3. Tier 2 structure frames. And I need more diamonds for tier 3s. So I figured let's break some of these. For best yields, I think we can do these by hand. But obviously at some point we'll want to automate this process. But I think, even like processing them through like a sag mill or something, right, we get 3 if we go through all those steps. If we sag mill it, we only get like 2. There we go, 2 and change. Although with grinding balls, that probably gets closer to like 4. But anyways, we have a Fortune 3 drill, so that's what I'm going to use. Aha, diamonds. It's raining diamonds. Get a lot of EXP off that too. Alright, anyways, apparently my inventory's full. I'm too rich. And last but not least, structure frame tier 3. Cool. So this entire structure, being a solar panel, quite obviously has to be built up there. As for where exactly to put it, I think I just want to avoid building it over the mob farm because, the mob farm has those spawner thingies, and I don't know if it makes them ignore light spawning rules. So just to be safe, let's see. I'll put it so this is the chunk the base is in. I'll put it here, I guess, just right next to our plants. Is that the center of the trunk? Let's see. The trunk starts here, so I can't tell if it. I think it's one. I need to move it one block left, right? Maybe it's centered this way. Oh wait, a trunk is 16 by 16. You'll never center it completely. I think this is as close we'll get. Not that it even really matters. All right, so once you place the controller, I think all the blocks go above it. So if we chill underneath it, we shouldn't get in the way. Just hold right click on it with the assembler, and the assembler assembles. Wow, would have thought, right? Anyways, after a couple seconds, all the blocks in our inventory are gone, and when you click it, it says assembled true. Nice. Now it's producing 0 FE a tick right now because it's nighttime. So let's go sleep. All right, so it's daytime now. I guess you can't see because we're still down here, but let's teleport back up here. It's daytime, and this thing should now be producing energy. In fact, it is 64,000. Cool. So now we just have to get that down to our base somehow. We could use those energy thingies, the energy senders. However, these do have a limit of 16,000. So, like, that's not, the worst, but then we'll need like 4 of them. We could run conduits. These have 200,000, but then, we have to run conduits from where we're at Y74. We have to run like 3 stacks of conduits, and, these aren't free. So let's see if we can come up with a better idea than either of those. So there's really 3 ways to transfer energy. You can do it in energy form, the most obvious way, through conduits. You can do it in item form by transporting like these inventory chargers, or I have one of them in my inventory somewhere. The capacitor, the handheld capacitor. Do I not have one? I must have put it away on accident. No, it's right here. Right, these hold 75 million RF. You can charge them on one side, transfer them, and discharge them on the other side. Or you can do items by transporting energy cells. The most simple one is the conduits, and after looking at our options, I think I'm just going to stick with conduits. The heck is this? Full block. Anyways, so these conduits aren't cheap. They're $500 for 4. So to travel, do I not have money on me? Oh, I put it all away. To travel the about 200 blocks up to there, it's going to cost like 30,000 gil, but it's probably easier to do this than to set up like use ender chests to transfer stuff. So I'm just gonna bite the bullet and spend some money. We've got money to spend. It's all right. So in addition to the conduits, I bought 3 capacitor banks. What I want to do is put these here like so. So these will I need 3 because each one only has 100k input a tick, and wait, 100k is enough. I was thinking ahead to when I have a tier 4 controller, when I would need more. Yeah, totally. Anyways, so my plan is these conduits actually could transport more than 200k a tick, right? The limitation is actually per side. So basically by having, more sides to the capacitor bank, we can transfer 200k RF per tick per side. And by using all the sides of this capacitor bank, we can transfer all, eventually when we get to a tier 6 controller and it's like 2 million-ish RF a tick, we can transfer all of that. So now it's just a matter of running this energy conduit down to our base. And for simplicity, or for cleanliness, I guess, I'll probably run it adjacent to our viaducts here. Convenient thing about energy conduits too, they displace water from the entire block, but they leave enough room for you to stick your head in there to breathe. Aha! Alright, I ran energy conduits all the way down to our base, and now the 2 are connected. So right now I think this is depleting because it's, for one, I think it's nighttime, so it's not generating, and it's recharging the other capacitor. Wait, capacitors shouldn't recharge each other. Oh, whatever. I'm going to set these to extract only energy so that the generators in our base won't try to like charge this capacitor. Um, okay, yeah. Now that it's an extract only, I guess the two capacitors were charging each other. Um, this will drain to finish charging the other capacitor, and then cool, that'll be fine after that. And I suspect at this point it's full. Anyways, this should take care of our power generation for the foreseeable future. If it turns out we need more, upgrading this from tier 3 to tier 4 isn't terribly difficult, but it is a little expensive. So the next thing I want to do is also an environmental tech multi-block, and that is the personal nanobot beacon. So it provides, if basically it's like a beacon that provides you buffs, but it always provides a buff to you no matter where you are, and there's like a whole bunch to choose from. So there's actually two versions of the nanobots. There's a personal and the ranged one. The ranged nanobot functions like the called in RF Tools. There's the one like the environmental controller or something like that, or just like a regular beacon if you think about it. Depending on like the tier, it has a certain size and a certain number of modifier slots. That's true for the personal one. There is no size. It affects you no matter where you are. So there's a couple buffs I want from this, namely Creative Flight, which I'm pretty sure is buyable. And I guess let's see. If I go tier 3, I have 12 total modifiers available. Although how many, that requires 56 structure blocks. Maybe I'll only go tier 2. So that gives me 8 modifier blocks. So we can go Creative Flight, Flight Speed, Regen, Water Breathing, Night Vision, and from there it can really be whatever, I guess. Cool. So let's start by buying the components. So unfortunately, it looks like Creative Flight and the Flight Speed modifiers are actually not available for purchase, which is a shame because I was actually really hoping to ditch this jetpack. The biggest problem with the jetpack is like I slowly drift downwards, which is a little annoying, and there is no tier 5 jetpack. Like normally the jetplate is disabled, so no recipe for it. Actually, does this one have a recipe? Oh, it does. Actually, what does this take? Maybe we'll switch gears and make this instead. We only need a single one of these? That doesn't look all that bad. Unless I'm missing something. Yeah, you know what? Let's switch gears and make an energy jet plate first. That way I get proper, like, creative flight without this, slowly sinking behavior. End steel apparently uses compressed end stone instead of, regular end stone. So I'm going to have to make a trip to the end to get more. The portal here is a good 1,000, almost 1,000 blocks from home, but now we can save it in our book. And teleporting back costs a little bit of EXP, but we're actually not going to teleport back. I have my sea moth with me, so we can just take the portal back when we're done. Anyways, with our drill, I can set it to what's better, 5x5 or 3x3x3? 27 or 25 blocks. I guess technically 3x3x3 gets more blocks per drilling operation, but this is fine. This is easier because it creates less of them. No, this is hard. I don't know. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to get some endstone and probably some obsidian while I'm here. Having a 3x3 crafting grid in our inventory too makes compressing the endstone quite easy. Nice. Unfortunately, even with efficiency 5, it takes a little while to mine obsidian. But I mean, I get 25 blocks per block broken, right? That's not like an awful deal. I'm going to just pick up a couple stacks of this. I'm pretty sure this is the fastest way to get obsidian in this pack. Short of like, setting up something like a magma crucible to melt cobblestone. Alright, I'm satisfied with my haul here. Compress, uncompress, let's head back. When you're done, make sure you set your drill back to single mode, otherwise you're just begging to create a disaster in your base. Alright, so back to crafting this. Step 1 is just to make a bunch of dark steel and these various alloys. One downside of making all this dark steel right now is that dark steel takes quite a while to make. I think it's shorter in this pack than most even. And, well, let's see. So I'm doing, I guess if I use steel instead, it takes half as much time, but I should have done. But too late now. But yeah, it takes 20,000 RF at 200 a tick is what, like 100-ish ticks. I'm hoping that this one loop capacitor I have will upgrade it. I don't have the mod installed that shows like the actual functional number, but it has smelting in it, which I think means it's good for the alloy smelter, and it has a lot of keywords, and I think keyword soup is typically good. So 281. It's a small upgrade. The other place I could use it in is a sag mill. It has crushing in it too, I believe, or crushed. So it goes from 225 to, oh, it's also 281. All right, then I'll just use it in here because I use this machine more. And it'll be a little bit faster. Yeah, I'll take a little bit. It's been so long since I played with these, I forgot I had them. Acceleration ones. Aha, much faster. So I went to craft soul sand, or not soul sand, solarium. And I was like, wait, what's happening? Well, this is what I get for not checking the recipe. It takes an infinity gem. There we go. Infinity gems are pretty expensive, so I'm only going to create a few more than I need. Normally, if I need something, I create, like if I need 10, I think I need 8 this time, I'll make like dark steel, I needed, I don't know, maybe 2 stacks, so I made 8 stacks for later. But infinity gems for now are a little too expensive to do that with. So putting it all together, dark solarium. All that's left is to craft it then. So the thruster itself is made in an engineer's workshop. These are cold fire igniters. Fancy. All right, how do I make this? I guess there's one more step. So first of all, we have to make a vat. It's a pretty complicated recipe on its own. And then to make vapor of levity, we have to go through like 13 different fluids. So we need to make dew of the void before that. We have to make nutrient distillation before that, and this can start from water. All right. I'm hoping I only have to go through this process once, so I won't automate it. I'll just, make a big batch. Hopefully a big enough batch. Remember 10 minutes ago when I said I thought that this looked easy? I take that back entirely. So we need another machine as well, the soul binder, because making dew of the void requires these grains, which have to be take ender crystals, which you have to grind down. We have to soul bind vibrant crystals with enderman souls. Another trip to the end was necessary then to get these enderman souls. Thankfully, this part's pretty easy. Just right-clicking a bunch of endermen. Thank you. And the next step takes more of these weird grains. So these are just pulsating crystals. We've already made those. This is prescient crystals, which once again requires a trip to the end to grab some shulkers to jam into vibrant crystals. The product of all that is 4 buckets of vapor of levity, which I think is enough, I hope. I should have double checked, but I'm pretty sure this was just, do I even make it? Oh, it was 1 bucket each, right? Cold fire igniter. Yeah, in a fluid transposer. All right. So let's sneak our way into here. 4 buckets is enough for 4, but we'll only make 2. Am I missing something? Vapor of levity. What? I've successfully trolled myself. You don't actually use vapor levity to make cold fire igniters. You use it to refill them. Yeah. Apparently there's no way to actually make it. So I'm not quite sure what to do. I figured it out. The Dark Solarium Thruster has a second recipe. I've stopped looking at like the second recipe on a lot of items because for anything that's made in the Future Tech workstation, for some reason all the recipes got registered twice. So like they always show as one of 2, and the second recipe is just exactly the same. At least as far as I can tell, it's exactly the same. Is it the other? No, it's the same liquid EXP. So anyways, I've kind of like started mentally tuning this one of 2 out. But apparently this is the recipe we're supposed to use. So good news is the only thing I mean, basically, the only thing that we have to make now is 2 reinforced thrusters, because everything else we buy. So it's going to cost a little money, but while these are craftable, like screw that, I'm buying it. Geez, the cost of these things never ceases to surprise me. I need 2 infinity flares, and they cost 18,000 each. Yikes! But I mean, the alternative, right, was to craft them. So, anyways, I have that now. I still have a fair bit of money left. I have 4 stacks plus those. But once I use this up, then I'm out of money for the time being. So hopefully that lasts until we can make our jetpack. All right, finally, we can make the thruster and turn the, actually, I forget what table it is. Future tech. Turn the thruster into the jet plate. Nice. All right, so this jet plate should have perfect hover. Which it does. Awesome. That was by far the most difficult simple project I've ever tried to do. Of course, it's 100% my fault for failing to read the recipes and stuff. Like, no one to blame but me, but I blame myself very vigorously. Anyways, there are some quests completed. I suppose we'll grab our rewards. Maybe there's something useful in here. Or maybe not. With that out of the way, I still want to go ahead and make the personal nanobot beacon. There's still some buffs here I want. Speed to move faster, strength to hit harder, regen, resistance, whatever. Water breathing for sure. Night vision, although I get night vision from food, so maybe not health boost, more hearts. That's always welcome. Absorption, saturation. But I think I'll do that next episode. So I accidentally underestimated the difficulty of doing this, and it took the entire episode, basically. Well, the entire second half of the episode. But in any event, I do hope you enjoyed watching me struggle to make a simple item and run out of power in my capacitor. But I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.